ProWrestlingSheet.com.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Collider Body Slam Raw Recap. Hey, I'm looking forward to talking about this one. A lot of differences of opinions between Ryan and I already off camera, so we can't wait to turn the cameras on and the microphones on and talk about it. So I am John Rocha, joined as always by Pro Wrestling Sheet founder and lover of all things wrestling, and even gave me some nice joy Ryan socks this week. Ryan Satin, how are you, brother?
Lover of most things wrestling. I don't know about all things wrestling. There are some. Anyone who knows me knows not all, but no, I'm doing good. I was able to scarf down that bagel before we started recording
man.
here. I'm feeling energized. I'm not super excited to talk about the show in general.
Wow.
It didn't super pique my interest this week. I tried.
Fair enough.
I really tried. I just felt like there were a lot of things that I was just kind of like, okay, we're doing this, you know? So it'll be interesting because I know that we kind of had different opinions here already on things, as you mentioned here. So I'm interested to see what you did and didn't like.
They certainly doubled down on what they're building to Hell in a Cell.
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't a lot of adjustments here. They've made their creative decisions, and they're going for it all the way to the end. And you're either in or you're out on it because they're not changing, it seems like, you know?
I think that might have been where my issues lied with the show, where it was like all right, they're doing this, you know, like they're going forward with their plan, and that is what they do, you know.
That's true. That's true.
And we already got kind of a little change of course on Becky, so they're not going to do it with Braun too.
Right.
You know, it's not that I don't like everything they're doing with Braun. Mm-hmm. It's just I don't like it. It's just like I get it. You know, I get it. I understand it. I get what they're doing. They need a strong heel for Roman.
They do.
But
because they can't make him heel, unfortunately.
I know, and I think this is where I'm watching. And, you know, it's weird because when I'm watching it, there are things the crowd is cheering for throughout the episode. Like, in my head, I'll be like, this isn't working. And then I hear the crowd, and it's a different story.
I feel the same way we're going to talk about later. It's confusing to me that I'm sitting there going, this is terrible. Why is the crowd cheering? And I'm starting to wonder if the WWE comes out with their announcements before the show starts and says, guys, for us to keep doing this, for us to keep going back to you, like, we're going to need you to cheer for certain things and boo certain things. We want you to do it, blah, blah, blah. Because when I auditioned to be an announcer for WWE, one of the things they gave you to talk about for now is to say to the people, hey, don't mess with the wrestlers, don't call us over the blah, blah, blah. But also cheer for your favorites and boo the people you know are the bad guys. So they do kind of encourage you with an opening speech before the cameras get turned on.
Similar to any TV show.
Yes, and I wonder if they're really even more so doing it this time because they know that people are we're going to get to it.
If the announcers were getting on the microphone and saying, make sure you cheer for Roman Reigns before, we would know about it.
Yeah,
like,
you think?
Everyone would have tweeted about that. Like, the crowd literally just said cheer Roman Reigns because they all would have just not cheered for him anyways. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of Roman Reigns, that's what started off the show. Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre coming down to the ring. Now, the official heel faction. Yeah. Strowman went full heel, talking all that stuff, saying, "I want to do it to you. I wanted to face you man to man, face to face, all that kind of stuff." And he blamed the Shield for him having to go find two heel partners, and everything went down from there. And then the Shield showed up, and the Shield jumped in on this, took out the axe handles, and started whooping some butt. I was confused on this because there was some like, where are the storylines for these separate wrestlers going if they're outside the ring clapping for Strowman and Ziggler and McIntyre? Like the Maharaja, I didn't understand why Jinder was like, yes, and then Jinder in the next phase is like, you got to find peace, you got to find. I'm confused. Like, the consistency was lost here. I thought KO was consistent. He was on the corner just like, I hate that I'm doing this.
And he's the only one who got a promo afterwards to explain why he was there as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
but I'm with you. You know, that was my biggest issue with Raw in general this week is the disconnect of like, well, this is happening, but the crowd's going this way, but then this is opposite of what we're supposed to be thinking is happening.
Right.
So like everything all across the board was like very confusing to me, and this was a part of that, you know, looking at all the heels in support of Braun and Drew and Dolph, it didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like they're the bad guys of the show. And who have really had no interaction with the Shield besides this recent thing that happened for no reason. Yeah. So yeah, it didn't make sense to me. For the most part, I don't think it would hurt to get hit with an axe handle either.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, like, it's not like it's a thick 2x4. Like,
right, but it is yeah, that's true. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying the reactions from the wrestlers getting hit by the axe handle was way too extreme for what there was happening.
I just think, like, if you got hit in the head with an axe handle, it would hurt, obviously.
It would hurt, yeah.
If you got hit in the back with an axe handle, would it really hurt that much?
Yeah, and you probably get mad.
You get mad. Yeah. You get pissed off.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's necessarily, like, as strong. Like, they're kind of small and thin.
Yeah.
They're not, like, thick. Like, a 2x4 is, like, hard to break sometimes.
Right.
You know, like.
It's not like a kendo stick. It knocks you the hell out.
Yeah, like a kendo stick would fucking hurt. You know, it's designed to hurt you.
To leave lashes.
An axe handle is designed for, like, aerodynamics to, like, be able to chop. So I was a little, like, random weapon to have pulled to the ring with you guys.
Yeah.
But this whole opening, and maybe I was just tired. I don't know. I was in a weird mood watching the show. But
I get it.
But, like, this whole segment, the only thing I enjoyed, really, is that for a long time I've said I thought Dolph Ziggler should be the leader of a Four Horsemen-like stable where, like, he's got... he's the shit talker, the Ric Flair, the bravado, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then he's got guys behind him to back it up. The Arn Anderson, the Tully Blanchard, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like we're kind of getting towards that where, they are making these guys a stable, it feels like. And whether it's just for, the short term, I'm not sure. But they are making a stable out of these guys. And I do, these three guys together could be an entertaining stable going forward as a heel faction.
I agree.
If they put the effort into it, if they try to make them a uniform team that is actually doing things together, which they did start to kind of push forward with this week. Yeah. I just feel like you said, the heels all being around the ring just didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Because, we ended last week talking about how the heels all came down and helped Ziggler and McIntyre and Strowman, but none of the faces came down to help the Shield. So what does that mean? Are the Shield just kind of their own thing? Are you trying to promote the underdog situation,
Yeah, like, are the heels really more in sync than the faces are on the roster? Like, you would think all the faces could band together and help out, but they're not.
Yeah, this is almost like comic book stuff where you get, like, the old school Super Friends where you have, like, the Legion of Doom all coming together, there. And so, but where's the Justice League? They're all going after one hero at a time.
Absolutely. And this also, continued the new trend that started last week and continued on throughout this week of 205 Live guys being brought back to the main roster in different ways. And I'm wondering what they're going to do with Drew Gulak, because he's really the only one that's been kind of like at a place standing there during all these things. So I'm wondering if he's going to be kind of brought back to the main roster.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Well, eventually they get pulled off. I did like Strowman's saying that you have your hounds of justice, I have my dogs of war.
Me too.
I did like that.
I
That's
like that
line.
too. That was honestly, I was sitting there rolling my eyes the whole time, like, I just don't like this. Like, I just wish that was like the roles were reversed. And then when he said that, I was like, that's actually, that line is what spawned me into thinking these guys could be a good team together. Like, if they're not just pushed together like we see in the Divas division, or the women's division a lot, where like the Divas division was notorious for it though, but like the women's division where they just shoved three women together and just kind of like, here, they're a team now. I hope that more is done to make these guys a unit if they're going to actually go that path.
Yeah, and I think you make a great point, Ryan. I think you saw the possibilities of it here tonight, last night on Raw, and you sensed, okay, if they go forward with this now becomes more and more believable, and you could see the potential of this team coming together and what they can do in the division as it goes forward, unlike Gable and Roode, which we'll talk about later. But everyone was down there, and then they got pulled off. They got dragged away, and then there was a thing in the back where where Corbin was like, "You guys can stay, but you got to surrender your axe handles. I don't want you to get arrested by the cops." Blah blah blah.
Surrender your axe handles.
Yeah, I mean, they all dropped it. And of course, for whatever reason, Roman Reigns had to mean mug a guy who was just doing his job, which is a cop. He's just doing his job.
Yes.
I don't know why he mean mugged him.
No.
It's like he had a personal interest in the situation.
Yeah. It was funny. This episode very much mirrored society in a way of like, someone kind of mad dogging a cop, being a good guy for mad dogging a cop. Yeah. And then there was later where Triple H basically called Undertaker a snowflake. So
he did.
He kind of was like, calling him like an internet snowflake of like, you got offended because someone said something about you. Like,
I was like, what is happening?
And we'll get into that later, but obviously. But I feel like that was kind of like a running theme throughout this episode of like mirroring things that are happening that we see happening on social media all the time.
Yeah. Well, it was after this. It was time for the Bellas portion of the show, which is now becoming is now going into overdrive on both Raw and SmackDown. They walk in and apparently keep the camera on as their dressing room was beat up and like written stuff on. Then they have the match. Nikki, of course, won over Ruby Riott. Completely unbelievable, but that's what happened.
Why completely unbelievable?
Because it's just not, because it doesn't make any sense. Look, Nikki is what? I mean, come on. Ruby is an up and comer. She's the heel. She should be getting the rub, not Nikki. Nikki's already established. You don't need it. And as they spent
but wait. Okay. But she's been gone for a while. Like they're trying to rebuild her a little bit. So why wouldn't you do it?
But I thought she has a winery. She has all this stuff going on. She doesn't need to be rebuilt, Ryan.
No, she needs
They spent the whole match kissing the Bella's ass.
You and I talk about how wins matter all the time.
It's true.
So if they're going to put
her
her in a role,
of
course she does.
She's a legend.
I like you using my own argument against me, you bastard. But even legends like a Goldberg or when one of them comes back, they give him a few wins. They let Goldberg beat Kevin Owens.
They did,
Like, so I mean, they do that with legends. So in what WWE does, it makes sense. But you are right. If wrestling fans last week were mad about them calling the Bella Twins legends, they like hammered it home hard this week. They even said one thing, and I agree, but I know that wrestling fans were going to be mad when they said something along the lines of like, the Bella Twins helped define the term women in WWE.
Yes.
The role of a woman in WWE.
Redefine.
Yeah, redefine how. They did a little bit, but I know that that's a very it's a divisive thing to say.
It's frustrating to me that they don't read the room, or they stubbornly don't read the room and go, F you fans, we're going to do this. You're going to come along or not come along. It really frustrated me because they spent the entire time. Oh, and by the way, we should not walk over this. Congrats to Renee Young going to be permanent on. I still believe she should take Cole's spot. She's not. I don't think she's
not there yet.
She's not. I don't think she's as strong on color as she is host.
Yes.
And I think she should take Cole's spot if she was going to do anything, and then bring in another person to do color with them. Cole has had his time. Another thing is Michael Cole, but he's had his time. There's other things you could be doing.
I almost feel like it would have made more sense. I almost feel like it would have made more sense to send her SmackDown, to be honest with you.
Oh,
to
that's
be
fair
the
too.
Lead,
hell yeah, because that guy's cool, but he's kind of boring.
Yeah, like, I'd be okay with like her, Graves, and Saxton. Like
absolutely.
Because I do feel like her and Michael Cole do have similarities in their announcing. Because even when you watch the Mae Young Classic, it's only been one episode, but they are similar. They're both kind of giving information, like things. And Graves is like colors it up, obviously, So I feel like they are a little bit too similar right now, but I think obviously that's going to change in time. And it is nice having a female voice.
Absolutely.
Because at the most, it does help when the female matches are going on.
Yeah.
I mean, she really does give her best insight when she's talking about like, well, I know this person. This is what they said. This is how they feel. Because she is good at coloring them up a little bit and like helping to paint a picture a little bit in the story when it comes to the females. And I do think that with time, she'll get better at it as well. Because it's hard to deal with having someone who has a similar role as you at the same time.
Yeah, you're trying to bounce off of them and see if you can. But the stuff that she's doing is right. When she throws in her color comments in, I appreciate them, but I also think that's not her natural thing.
No.
So you can see through it, and because we do what we do, we can see it, we can sense it, we can hear it, and so.
And her timing isn't fully there yet either. Because there was a lot of times when she was like trying to give a point, and then something would happen, and they'd like cut her off because they know what they're supposed to do at that point, and then it got kind of confusing, and they're like, "Oh, hey, back to you, Renee." Like, and it was like
exactly.
But
it'll come.
It'll come.
Yeah.
I have faith it'll come.
And I was happy that at least they made this decision, and Renee deserves it.
Yes.
6 years of time in the company. She's hosted everything from the top 10 stuff that they did to all these other shows, so she's set.
She's been an integral part of the WWE for a while now. Yeah, no, and I think she was the right call for that.
She's the lead woman. Yeah. She's the lead lady on that.
Absolutely. But I do think that the Bella Twins did help redefine the term.
That's fair, and I don't think you're wrong. I think that's true. Yeah. My problem is that they spent way too much of the match in an obvious attempt to. I mean, they accused the other women of being jealous of them.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
Yes,
those women have built their time in indie wrestling indie wrestling conferences rather, and built their time in those companies and laid the groundwork and got to the WWE and went through the NXT stuff, then got to the top of the roster. They're not jealous of the Bellas. They're upset that the Bellas are getting the rub above them when they've built all this groundwork. But it happens all the time, right? We saw Reigns or Rollins complaining about The Rock coming back.
It would have been silly. It would have been silly if Ruby Riott had beaten Nikki Bella.
I don't think that's silly at all.
Well, if they're
Nikki Bella's in her mid-30s. Ruby Riott is a young 23-year-old hungry wrestler. Nikki used to be a young hungry wrestler. I think it's certainly possible that she could have beat her, and it would have pushed the heel aspect of them even more, and it would have gotten the crowd behind the Bellas even more as them losing.
Maybe so, but
that's my argument. I'm saying right. I'm saying
I really do think it depends on what their plan is. Because clearly they brought the Bellas back for something.
Yes.
They brought the Bellas back. They're not going to be full-time going forward all the time again.
Right,
so clearly they brought them back for, I'd imagine, Evolution. And because of Evolution, Hell in a Cell, we're going to get a match at Hell in a Cell with Brie, and I'm assuming we're going to get something, at the Super Show. I think they were already announced for the Super Show. But clearly it's like, this short time that we're going to have. I don't think we're getting them back full time for good now. I'm pretty sure this is just a short little span that they're kind of coming back for. So, I'm cool with it. I think in that sense it makes sense, especially although, I'm sure since I'm a Bellas fan, my opinion's a little biased here because if it had been the other way, and with Goldberg and Kevin Owens, I wasn't happy.
You weren't happy, were you?
Yeah, no, I wasn't. So yeah,
and I thought that was more legitimate because Kevin Owens was already established by the time Goldberg beat him, so it wasn't negative for him to lose. Ruby's still building herself up. She's not 100% yet established as that kind of thing that gets people excited to see her.
Kevin Owens was the champion, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. But
he was the champion,
and
he lost it to Goldberg, who hadn't wrestled in fucking 20 years.
Yeah, true.
Ruby Riott at least can take the loss, and it's not that big because has Kevin Owens really recovered since?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
He really hasn't recovered since that. How? I mean, he's been used.
Yeah,
and he's been in big roles. Yeah, WrestleMania,
but other people have stepped in and taken the belt because Lesnar took it off of Goldberg and then ran it for a while, fighting Reigns and everything else like that. Yeah, you're right.
And look at where he's at now. I hate where he's at right now, Kevin Owens. So
right. Something. Well, let's see what happens with the Bellas. I just would encourage the WWE to stop doing essentially a commercial for the entire match for the Bellas.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I don't think you need to overstate their importance.
I mean, look, I do it on Twitter sometimes because I hate seeing the giant negative reaction
which
they get.
They don't deserve.
But I know that when I do that, I'm going to get a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I know there's people that are behind me,
right.
But it's one of those situations where I know for a fact that no matter what I say to support the Bella Twins or to defend them.
Yeah.
If you don't like them, you're probably, my opinion's not going to change your thoughts on the matter. So I think it's the same concept with WWE. Mm-hmm. The people who watch WWE who like the Bella Twins, who respect what they've done, they don't need it rubbed in their face, and the ones who don't are really going to be mad about it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of counteractive.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. And but the crowd loved it. When they won, they exploded standing ovation, a lot of clapping. So
proof that they're legends.
Yep. Yeah. There you go. Well, speaking of people who aren't legends, the authors of Pain stepped in here with Drake Maverick doing the best he could with whatever role they've got him in. I swear it looks like a kid they've kidnapped.
It really does.
Against Ronnie Ace and Nathan Bradley. That's probably the last time we'll say their names on this show, and they got squashed to pieces. I don't understand this. This is not like when Strowman was squashing. This is like we have nothing better to do or that we can think of to give you guys to do. So here, we'll just give you this.
Well,
and why do they need to go out and assert their dominance and show how tough they are if they
can barely beat Titus worldwide?
Yeah,
and they're it doesn't impress me that you're beating the albino dude.
That's a good point.
The plus of this segment. The plus of the segment was taking the vest off of Drake Maverick.
Yes.
The negative of it was still everything else. Look it. I think Drake Maverick is so talented.
Yeah.
He is so entertaining.
Drake is fun.
He's a good manager. Like when he was doing stuff in Impact where he was, he wasn't wrestling and stuff like that. When he wasn't wrestling, he wrestled there too.
Yeah.
But when he was doing stuff with Dixie Carter and Ethan Carter, it's great. I think he's incredibly entertaining.
Agreed.
He is just so out of place with these guys. It doesn't aesthetically it doesn't look right.
Awesome. Yeah. Why is a white dude leading two black guys? Why is a little
black, but
you know what I mean? Why is a little white dude leading two people of color? It's like the optics of it are stupid.
It's like the optics, and he's got this chip cheerio kind of like, thing to where like I love that character of him, but it just is so opposite of this like dark, ominous Authors of Pain. Like the promos they would do in NXT that we have become familiar with when it was, when it was Paul Ellering doing stuff like these ominous, like angry sounding but serious Paul Ellering style promos. Hearing or seeing Drake Maverick smiling and like walking with like his buddies, like he's the happiest little guy. It doesn't look right. It doesn't make them look tough. It doesn't really add anything to their act. What I will say is I do like that the 205 people or 205 Live wrestlers are being utilized in the main roster a little more. They're trying to do something with them.
Gotta do something.
But this one is it's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe if they put him in a suit and like let him be his suit wearing self, and it was more like a Jimmy Hart who like is kind of like adding to his stable of people, maybe or Bobby Heenan, something like that where I can maybe get it.
Yeah.
But we've just not been led to look at Drake Maverick that way, so it's confusing, and especially if he's still going to be the GM on 205 Live. Or it's one of those things where, like you said, there's this disconnect.
Yeah.
Like you're watching this, but you're like, but what about X, Y, and Z? You know, like this doesn't really. I get what your thought process behind it was, but it's just like it's weird.
I miss Teddy Long. Teddy would know exactly what to do with these guys.
When I was
even Slick would know exactly what to do with these guys.
When I was at Starcast during Starcast weekend, I got a coffee, and I went up. They were like, "Oh, cream and sugar right over there." I was like, "Oh, okay, great." So I go over to the table to get cream and sugar, and right when I walk up, like the team of people comes onto the table, and they just start taking everything off the table.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, "Oh man, I wanted the cream and sugar." So I'm standing, and as I'm like trying to figure out where I'm going, it's like one by one being taken away, and I'm like, and like Teddy Long comes walking up to the table, and he's just like, "Where's the cream and sugar? You guys are taking the cream and sugar. I'm gonna eat it. I need it for my drink. Where is it?" And then they were like, and they were like, "Sorry," like, and he got so mad. He was like. How am I gonna drink my coffee now? I can't drink my coffee if there's no cream and sugar. And then and before he even really finished, it was all gone. And I was like, and I was just kind of like standing there face to face with him, and he gave me like this really like,
come on, player,
and then just walked off. And I was like, that was a weird thing that happened here, but that was why Starcast was fun. Weird scenarios like that.
Where's the cream and sugar, player?
Yeah, where's the cream and sugar, player? We'll start a tag team match.
Come on. Well, Triple H came out, and as Ryan was saying, he basically called The Undertaker a snowflake.
Okay, that wasn't just me that thought that, right?
No, fair enough. I'm sure there were a lot. I thought that too. I was like, why are we doing this? This is the tactic you're using? An 18-year-old girl's tactic? What's wrong with you? Or young, rather, or 18-year-old male? You can say either way, but it just was a weird tactic to use to be like, oh, Undertaker, are you upset because Shawn Michaels came out? I'm like, what are you doing? You're the game. So it was just a little strange, but I did like the promo overall.
I was gonna say
better than the one he cut before.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
I didn't want to look like shit on this segment because, to be honest with you, it was my favorite segment of the night. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really kind of at this point I feel like Undertaker versus Triple H is probably the most well hyped feud going in WWE
Fair
right
enough,
now. There's been cool vignettes for it. There's been cool in-ring moments. Both Undertaker's shown up for this more than he's shown up for WrestleMania feuds. So
good point.
I'm digging it. But that part did make me laugh because it was very much just like a. Because that's, what everyone says now about, you let the internet get to you? Like, even in here, Christian, we're like, hey, why'd you talk about what happened on, our storyline things, and did you let it get to you? You're like, no, I just want to tell people what's going on,
right.
So it's interesting to see that kind of brought into this storyline, especially since Undertaker has recently joined social media.
Yeah.
He's
insane.
Which is insane.
Wow.
And his Instagram game isn't the best.
Well, look, he's a man in his 50s. If he had mastered the Instagram, I'd be shocked.
He just got like perfect social media game.
By the way, shout out to your tweet on Kane. That thing. If you guys haven't seen Ryan's tweet about Kane and saving lives while he's dragging people through the mat, I laughed for a good 5 minutes of that tweet. That was just genius. Genius.
I was proud of the one I put up today where it said, right before he came in here, it says, "Want to feel old? This is what Dustin from Stranger Things looks like now." And a picture of Mick Foley from last night.
Brilliant.
I was proud of that one.
Bringing the perm back. Yep.
It was good social media night last night. What were we talking about?
We were talking about Triple H. Sorry.
I got a little thrown off there
No
with that
worries.
Dustin picture. But no, the Triple H thing, they're doing a good job of this.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job of building it up. They're doing a good job of making it feel important. And they really needed to, considering they said it wasn't going to happen again, and they're doing it again. So I'm happy with it the way it's gone. I liked Triple H showing up to the building too, and like looking at security, like, oh, okay, there's some weird shit going on right now. Police here. That's WWE. I'm back, and walked into the building. I like that.
I remember those days when I used to call them.
Exactly. That was the vibe I got, and I like that. But yeah, no, I think overall, it was a really good segment.
Yeah, agreed. I like that he was playing he was talking about respect, and then he said, "I will put you down." It was a good ending. So I like, as a guy who loves promos, I enjoyed that promo very, very much.
Agreed.
But yeah, enough with the snowflake stuff. All right, so then we had the Raw Tag Team Championship match. B Team taking on Ziggler and McIntyre. This one was a foregone conclusion for the most part. It was a little bit longer than I thought it was going to go.
Me too.
I thought it was going to be like over in 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes.
I thought full squash.
Yeah, me too. But it went a little bit longer than I thought. It actually had a couple opportunities the B Team did to win, which was shocking to me.
And even, this was one of those disconnect things that I was talking about earlier in the episode. I was watching this going like, B Team are done.
Yep, they're done.
But then the crowd was chanting the B Team, go, go, go
thing. They really were.
Near the end of the match behind them.
Yeah.
They had the crowd with them. And I was like, whoa. Like, as the viewer watching this at home, who has been watching, and I assume most people in the crowd are the same way, who watches week to week, I'm just like, what? This is not working. This is done now at this point. But for somehow that stupid song has really helped them get like some of the crowd behind them, which is crazy to me.
The crowd was very hot for everything WWE was doing face-wise.
Yeah.
Very hot.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised how hot they were for the B Team. Like when they started chanting, I thought it was because Axel or Bo was encouraging them to do so, but no, they were doing it on their own.
I thought the same thing. Like I clicked rewind because I was wondering. I was like, did they do something? Nope. They were just chanting for the B Team. They were the B Team go thing. Like and even during the match, I was like, man, like Axel, it's so rarely that he gets to pin someone that even his pins were looking weird. Like he was kind of like above their body, like not really fully pinning them. But man, you got to listen to the crowd. Yeah. And if the crowd's into it, what am I going to say? Like there are things I don't like, but if the crowd's into this one, they did a good job.
There's only so much you can do when the crowd's into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people felt like the Spirit Squad had run its course sooner than it did. Right. But I think that
it's a good comparison.
I feel like this is like the modern day Spirit Squad at this point.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, they're going that route where eventually it's going to run its course, but clearly there's still some people that are into it.
They're always better as underdogs.
Yes.
The B Team is always better as underdogs. I don't mind they lost the title and the rematch. Now you get to put them back in the mix, and they'll be underdogs. Yes. Going forward, doing the things that they're doing, and that'll be fun to see.
And I don't want them to be the face of the division, but I'm cool with them being in the division and being a prominent part of it. Like, like Too Cool wasn't always beating everybody. Yeah. But they were a great part of the division. They helped. They had, matches that you liked. So I think they're a good player, but I don't think they should be pushed above the Revival or Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler in any way, shape, or form. Right. Agreed with that. Well, and then just when Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler were feeling well, the Shield came up. Rollins and Ambrose again tagged them from behind, did what they did. Good kind of setting up of a tag team match that's going to come down that we find out later. They confront Corbin in the back, and they try to get Corbin arrested. Boy, the sheriff. Which was really weird. Made no sense.
Like making a false claim. It's the first time WWE's. You're going to start dealing with. You're going to pick and choose reality when you feel like it. Like, what are you talking about?
You're going to be part of the intricacies of the legal system. Come on,
exactly.
Come on.
Can I show you 3 guys hitting people with axe handles? Innocent people just standing there at a ring.
Can I show you guys someone humping a corpse? Come on,
Come on. So I thought it was funny, and then they had that weird back and forth with Ambrose and the cop. He was like, "Yeah, anytime I go to jail, I can call you." He's like, "Oh yeah, sure, give me a call." He's like, "What? Oh, okay, sure. What? What does that make no sense?"
They do toe the line of Ambrose being a criminal very often.
Yes, they do.
Act like he's a criminal all the time.
Right?
Yeah, all the time.
What's really happening? Like, what? I need Renee Young to tell me what's really back there in Ambrose's background. Yeah.
When they came back,
when
they came rushing in, did you instantly know that their excuse was going to be, we were the Shield, we were ourselves?
Yeah, yep.
So did I. Right? So I was like, oh, they're not in Shield gear, so their excuse is going to be, we're not the Shield, we're Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, which was so cheesy. That whole segment backstage, Baron Corbin's acting was not good.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
Terrible acting.
Terrible.
Scratch it. all the acting was terrible.
You're making me miss
segment.
Angle. Yeah. And I love Angle, but Angle ain't the best. It's his charm that lets him get away with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, all the acting in that segment was real bad. And I don't say that, but it was real bad. It was Roach, the cop who doesn't talk.
Yeah.
He he went to show his badge, but he did it
He
all,
did all weird.
awkwardly,
Yeah. Like he just found the badge yesterday at Target, and he's like, okay, where is it? Oh, yeah, there. Like, if you were a real cop, you know how your badge flips open.
Flash that shit.
Especially because that guy looks like he's been a cop for 30 years. So, I mean, like, he knows where the badge is.
Absolutely. So, yeah, that was a rough segment.
Yeah, it was a rough segment. Agreed. Then we had Tyler Breeze taking on Kevin Owens. We both talked about how much we enjoyed Tyler Breeze getting the occasional match, but this was basically a squash match. Kevin Owens destroyed him. Then got on the mic and talked about how he wants to go after Lashley because of what Lashley did to Sami Zayn, and it's my best friend. You took away my best friend. I kind of like this angle. The seeds of this angle I like. The idea of the best friend stuff, the idea of how much he loves Sami Zayn, how he's mad at Lashley, plus Lashley's ferocity and size and power versus Kevin Owens' wrestling ability. I'm excited for this. I like the promo. I need to see a little bit more. I want to see a little bit, I want him visiting Zayn in the hospital, Zayn in doing physical therapy, Zayn in his bedroom, having a crisis of confidence in himself. You could do all kinds of vignettes through this.
Yes, yeah. I'm with you on that front 100%. I'm going to reserve judgment a little bit still, mainly because I want to see where they go with it, especially now I think that was the next segment, but
yeah.
But I believe, but the Lio Rush thing. I think Lio Rush being added to that is going to be fun. Was that the next thing?
Let's talk about it. It doesn't matter. Let's talk about it. I love it. I love that Lio Rush is part. I wasn't sure what to expect. Great situation.
Such a good call. I believe almost every wrestling fan, especially every wrestling fan who watches Raw, has said, please give Bobby Lashley a manager.
Yeah.
Just give him someone entertaining. And I think Lio Rush has proven on social media, on 205 Live, on NXT, that he is incredibly entertaining on the microphone. The things he does, they're so funny. I love all the stuff he does on social media. He did a promo the other day on social media where he walked up to a piano and started playing it, and then got up and it continued to play, and then he kept doing his promo to the camera. One of my favorite things I've seen in so long, because he sat down and started playing as he was playing it, but then got up and it kept playing, and then he did his promo into the microphone. One of the best. I'm gonna send it to you. It was great. I was dying.
Genius.
Me and my girlfriend were cracking up watching it. It was so good. So I love the prospect of him being added to that. Yeah. The idea of Owens and Lio Rush getting into verbal sparring sounds like it's gonna be really funny.
Who's the face?
It's got to be Lashley.
I guess.
Lashley for sure.
I guess.
I mean, Lio Rush, I guess, is very heel-like, but
it'll be entertaining.
I feel like it'll be like a odd couple kind of thing, where he's got this annoying manager that's kind of because even in the thing where he was like, my man, and then he was like, nah, keep pumping me up, and then it was like I almost feel like he's gonna. I feel like they're gonna be a great, odd couple type thing.
I think he's gonna smooth Lashley's edges over, his clumsy edges over better. I think he's gonna be really funny on the mic, and then Lashley's clumsy awkwardness and mistiming on some of the things he says, even in that little mini thing where he's like, I'm working out, right? I'm just trying to pump, wham, and almost destroys the guy, almost sends him shatters him into pieces, saying, you keep pumping me up, and he's like, okay, so yeah, you blah blah blah. So all of that's gonna really work because, like you said, odd couple thing, mismatched completely, and it's gonna be fun to see how they work together. It excited me the first time that Lashley is somebody who's gonna make it work for him, more so than the Authors of Pain with Drew.
100%. This is such a better pairing. This is such a better pairing.
Agreed.
This, you went. Literally, the second Lio walked into frame, you went, that makes sense.
Yep.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. That is a good pairing. And when you saw Authors of Pain with Drake Maverick, you were like, who came up with that idea? Right. So yeah, absolutely. But to go back to the Kevin Owens thing, I fucking hate the quitting and then just showing back up.
Yeah.
And I get that they've done at least somewhat of tried to explain it. But clearly, if you follow wrestling, to me at least, it looks like they were like, okay, we're going to do the storyline. He's gone, right? Yeah. And then it was like, oh, shit, but we need a partner for Natalya for the Mixed Match Challenge. Mm-hmm. Well, Kevin Owens is Canadian.
Yeah.
He's from Canada. Let's just put them together. Let's bring Owens back. That's how it felt to me. It was it was just out of nowhere. It's literally, and they've tried so hard to explain why it did make sense and why storyline was okay to do. But that was not the plan. Something changed midway through, and they're trying their best to piece it together, in my opinion. And so I don't love it, but I like where it could go.
Yeah.
I don't like him coming back mainly because I thought there were such better options to go from that, and it just was such that was such an unnecessary angle they did 2 weeks ago. So that's the only reason I really hate where it's going, but I like the prospect of where it could go.
Yeah, agreed. Well, now speaking of prospect that we don't like where it's going, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable versus the Ascension. Ascension, again, jobbing as they are now contractually obligated to do to just about everyone. Gable and Roode got over on them. This felt awkward again when it's supposed to work. It feels like Roode is trying to make it work, but he isn't 100% behind it. Like when Gable jumped in that like little old school 80s mini promo they did where the action's going in the ring and then you see them talking where he goes, it's and then Gable jumped in, glorious. Was that right, boss? And he's, you did all right, kid. And I was like, no, none of that works. Stop neutering Roode. Stop castrating him.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week, how I kind of like giving him someone with a little more charisma attached to him, but...
Yes. He's a badass, man. Give him a badass to play with.
I liked it still this week. I wasn't super against it like you were, but I could see where your frustration lies.
The heel turn is coming. It's just so obvious. It's telegraphed from 75 miles away, dude.
The only thing is they were like in matching clothes this time, and it was like maybe they're not gonna do the turn, that they're trying to help both of them a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
But
it'll be a bit, but
it should be. That should be where they're going with it, like we said last week.
Yeah.
But I didn't dislike it as much as you did. I liked seeing. I like that we got Gable doing his suplexes.
Yeah.
Anything where it helps bring Chad Gable onto TV, I'm a fan of it.
Right.
So maybe that's where my happiness lies in it, because I can't stand Bobby Roode. So
okay,
so I
enough.
think that because I usually got like, oh, it's gonna be kind of boring, like in a Bobby Roode segment.
Yeah.
I like that now I have something to look forward to in those segments. So I hope that they stay together unless there's a heel turn involved.
I want to ask you something, and you can say I don't want to talk about it. Maybe you can edit it out.
Okay.
You know James Storm personally.
Yeah.
Was there any real friction between him and Bobby Roode, or were they always cool with each other as tag team?
I think they were always cool with each other.
So nothing.
For those of you who don't know, like James Storm was on the Greatest Royal Rumble thing I did recently. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's always been someone I've been friendly with.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, it was always very friendly between the two of them.
Sometimes that stuff bleeds out, and you find out, they didn't enjoy working with each other.
No. They from at least from what I heard from James Storm's side of things, cool. I mean, very much friendly, and he still watches SmackDown to support Bobby, and they'll text each other about stuff. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Man, I'd love to interview. I like Roode to pieces. I can't explain. I just like him a lot. All right, let's move on. I know you don't like. I don't like what's happening to him.
Yeah,
but
so I just like him. I just like the way
angle.
His character has been angled right now.
Agreed. All right, Ryan, this is the Ronda Rousey portion of the show. Her and Natalya came out against Alexa Bliss.
You didn't like this segment?
I thoroughly hated this segment.
Weird, because this is one of the ones I had to finish watching before we did the show today, because I fell asleep last night.
She was calling the spots, Ryan. She's calling the spots. Verbally, out loud.
It wasn't that obvious. It wasn't that bad. I feel like you're giving her a harder time than it was.
Five separate things.
You heard 5 of them?
Yes.
Really? Oh, man, maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Arm drag.
Oh, you heard her talking about...
See,
I'm like when I watch a magician.
Yeah.
I try hard not to look for those things.
That's fair.
Like, I go out of my way to try and not pay attention to those things.
Yeah.
To the point where when those videos will come out to where, like, they'll put the text underneath.
Oh, yeah. I hate that.
I'm like, man, I watched that match 3 times and I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I
hate those videos.
To where even when I worked at a wrestling company, I worked at Wrestling Hollywood for like a summer. And that was the first time I really asked questions about like how the match is structured, because I wanted to know, because I was working there.
Of course.
But like that was when I really learned how important the referee is to the whole situation. To the whole formula. That the referee is like the most important person in that. Obviously the performers are most important, but the next most important person, because he's leading the show. And I don't think I ever realized that until I started working in, at that wrestling company. And so I try hard not to listen for those kinds of things. Like Cena, I know Cena is notorious for it.
Cena's terrible.
Cena's terrible at it. But you wouldn't say Cena's a terrible wrestler because he does that. So I don't think that, what I liked about this match is I like this is the first time that Ronda was vulnerable and in a believable manner. Okay. Like when I watched it, I thought it wasn't like where I thought like, Alexa Bliss would never actually hurt her, because the odds were against her. Natalya was getting beaten up first. Yeah. They were stacking the odds against her, and it finally caught up to her, you know? And I liked that. I was like, oh, you know what? We finally got a vulnerable Ronda Rousey. which I was cool with.
I like that too. I agree with that. Here's the thing I want to ask you, man. Is there pushback on Alexa? Are there people who think that Alexa shouldn't be where she's at, the spot that she's at, or anything like that?
Wrestling fans?
Yeah, wrestling fans.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, big time.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I
would say
I'm not
majority.
I'm not usually out of step with the wrestling fans on things.
Yeah.
So
I'm
it's
not
that
gonna
the
lie,
Alexa thing
this
is
the one that you're the
surprising
most out of step on with wrestling fans, because
Really?
when you
Yeah.
talked about her being like the future face of the company stuff, and I was thinking like, what? Like, because most
Really?
most people are not Team Alexa. Like, I think Alexa's great. Don't get me
That's
wrong.
surprising to
But
me.
most people go like, oh, she does a kick here, she does a punch there, a DDT here, a DDT there, and then like runs around the ring, throws someone into something, screams a little bit at the referee, and then that's the end of the match. And so that's kind of like what a lot of people think about her and stuff. I don't see it that way. I think
don't
she's
either.
really entertaining. I think she's very acrobatic. I
Yes.
think, like, she's got like
She got high flying moves, man.
totally. I think she's really entertaining in the ring. But I do
do
notice,
too.
you know, the more I have to see everybody's opinion, the more I realize that like everyone's wrong. Like no one's right. You know, like
It's
we're
an
all
opinion.
you know, it's an opinion. And
Yeah.
so like yeah,
That's
you
fair.
know what? You know, there's only a few opinions that matter when it comes to wrestling, and
Right.
they're the ones in charge.
Yeah.
There, you know, and
They're wearing
clearly,
ties.
yeah,
Yeah.
and clearly they like Alexa Bliss.
They do.
You know, they love her.
She sells merch, son. Like she is big on that. Like
Yep.
it's great to. That's the thing that I enjoy her personality. I think she's a great heel. I never like her when she's face because she's naturally just a fun heel, and she's gorgeous and she's strong. And when she does the moves from the high flying stuff, it's really great.
And she got like such a vicious side to her.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
last night when she was doing those arm bars, when she was like in like look,
Yeah.
you like this, like like
Right.
doing it to Natalia. I loved it. I thought it
Yeah.
was so vicious.
It's believable.
It's very believable.
Yeah.
And it's she really does have a vicious streak. You know, since you're a big fan of hers, you should
Yeah.
listen to the interview she did on Sam Roberts' podcast.
Oh, okay.
Recently, it was like a few weeks ago.
Cool.
I think it was like during SummerSlam weekend.
Okay.
And it was really entertaining to hear her talk about getting into wrestling, the motivation behind her character,
Right.
like how she kind of takes from movies. Like that's why she's the Freddy Krueger thing.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. Like it was interesting to hear her talk about it though, and basically
Yeah.
like how, or, you know, when she first basically, I loved it. She basically said, I want to be a wrestler. And so she looked online how to be a wrestler and type it up, and then came up to WWE website that was like, send in your application, you know, headshots and a video here. And she was like, okay. And like on WWE's training website, basically like sent in her headshot and like info about her and got a call.
Wow.
And like got a tryout and then got hired.
Wow.
it was pretty entertaining. And like to hear her like, you know, because she's so small and she's
Yeah.
telling her mom like, I'm going to go train to be a wrestler. And they were like, you're 5 feet tall. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Like, that's not possible, you know?
Right.
So it was interesting to hear, but I feel like you'd like
Okay.
it since you were such a big fan.
Absolutely.
Such a big fan of hers.
I'll listen to it on the drive home tonight.
Yeah.
I enjoyed her part with Natalia. That was nice. Mickey James got some great moves in. That submission move she had on Natalia was really great.
And then when she like when Alexa held her up and then Mickey came to that running drop
Yeah.
kick like into Ronda's stomach, you were like, yeah, this is what you need to do to look
Exactly.
like to be a credible threat against
Exactly.
Ronda Rousey, who is a badass, bona fide badass.
Yep.
And I'm also feeling like the team of Alicia Fox, Alexa Bliss, and Mickey James is kind of starting to feel like a thing
Yeah.
now. It's starting to feel like less random and more entertaining together.
Right.
'Cause
I agree with that.
I like Alicia when she's used. I
Yeah.
think Alicia's incredibly entertaining.
We've talked about that. Alicia is great. She's she's a utility player.
Yes.
She's really great at that. Ronda ended up coming back. You're right. She was a little. She had the ribs thing. They worked on the ribs for a while. Then she fought back and whipped around Mickey James a couple of times. Then got the victory. But
Do you like that move? I love
it. Scares
it.
the hell out of me. That move.
Me too, but I love it.
I like it, but it terrifies me. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for one of these women to get like really legitimately hurt by what she's
That's
doing.
gonna happen.
But yeah, you think, but it might be the other wrestler's fault rather than Ronda's fault because Ronda knows because
How
of
to
her
do that,
training
yeah.
with judo and jiu-jitsu. Like she knows how to do that
and
and
I'm
not
assuming
hurt somebody.
Yeah, because I'm assuming she'd have to do that in practice during
Yeah,
training and stuff to like her trainers.
Right,
So-
and then when you watch the arm bar, no one has their arm fully out.
No.
It's always bent,
Yeah.
and then they tap.
Yeah.
Because Ronda, they all know that legitimately she could break her freaking arm.
Yes.
They don't want to play around with that stuff.
No.
So I liked it, but I liked that Alexa kicked her in the end. The thing that I think is the drawback with Ronda, and it might not be something you can fix, is that she has a hard time playing the emotional beats believably. And I think that's where the work she needs to do. In the ring,
Absolutely.
in the ring, she's great. Like, she's scary, she's good, whatever. She understands what the beats are. But I think the nuance of the beats is the last hurdle she has to cross before she's fully a WWE superstar, in my opinion.
No, I couldn't agree more with you. I mean, when I was watching it last night, I was actually thinking the exact same. Or today, when I was watching, I was thinking the same thing of like, she's almost there.
She's almost there
in terms of, but this is the first time she really had to be vulnerable. Like, really, I'm assuming she hasn't really gotten a ton of training on how to be vulnerable. She's got a lot of training. I bet facial expressions, how to be tough, how to sell, how to this, how to that, how to land this move correctly. I bet you being vulnerable is not high on the list of things they've taught her. You know, so. It's similar to like a Big Show. I'm sure that was a struggle for Big Show when he was first kind of getting in the business. You're a giant, and now you have to kind of like, at one point, you have to learn how to make it look like someone is believably beating you up. And that's got to be a tough one, you know? I mean, but I do think that she was on the right path last night. I mean, some of the times when she was getting, when she was getting thrown into the ring apron repeatedly, Alexa was just doing like the yes kicks on her stomach. I was like, all right, this I can believe. This looks like someone who is believably getting beaten up, and I like that.
I agree. I thoroughly agree with that. And then that finished up, so that's obviously setting up the Hell in the Cell they've got going on. I don't know how Alexa's gonna win that match.
She won't.
You don't think so?
No way. Okay. No way. They want her to have the belt to Evolution. Are you kidding me? They didn't have Ronda Rousey win the belt to fucking give it back to Alexa Bliss in a few weeks.
5 Feet of Fury.
Get out of here.
5 Feet of Fury.
Get out of here with that, Rocha.
All right, Elias came out, did his thing. Like, I'm actually getting tired of the Elias thing, to be honest. I like Elias.
Me too.
I love Elias. Get him in the ring. I'm tired of this guitar thing. I've never seen it
every week.
Yeah, and you know what? These other people are putting on 5, 10, 15-minute 20-minute matches, and Elias just gets to go out, get the same pay, and sit on a stool and play guitar. That's bullshit. Get in the match and wrestle, get in there and start doing stuff. So it was a little frustrating to watch that happen. But of course, Mick Foley came out, which is great because it was his 20th anniversary of that Hell in a Cell match between him and Undertaker. Nice little back and forth. Yeah, Renee Young pointed out the perm. Foley.
That perm was rough.
That was like a Soul Glow from Coming to America. That's what it felt like to me. But respect to Mick. I met him a couple times. What a sweetheart of a dude. Totally loves people who understand and respect the business. And so it was nice to have a conversation with him. So whatever he does, even when he's out of step being cool, he's still cool. He's one of those rare dudes who can do that. So
yeah. I don't know if cool is the word I would use to describe Mick Foley. I'm not sure you saw what he was wearing, or the perm, but like, and I'm not one to pick apart on someone's style, but I don't know if cool is the right word to use to describe Mick Foley.
Foley is God.
Legend, yes. But you know what? To be honest with you, I didn't care about this segment.
All right, fair enough.
I just I don't know. I just sounded like, what is he going to add to the match?
Yeah.
Like, what is... the special guest referee thing never really excites me. Like, they're not really going to bring anything special to the match. If anything, they're going to take away from the match.
They're going to interfere in the match.
They're going to interfere.
Right. The Sacco is coming out.
Sacco's coming out, and it's like... Yeah. Mick Foley had kind of run his course on Raw when he went away. Yeah. I don't think a lot of people loved his run as GM on Raw. I don't think anyone in the past 18 months has really been like... Fuck, I was fiending for more Mick Foley on the show, And I love Mick Foley. Like, Mick Foley's... Mick Foley, Hell in a Cell got me into wrestling, but how many times can you hear Mick Foley talk about Hell in a Cell?
True.
Like, I've seen every documentary there is to see about Hell in a Cell. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that promo added to anything. Like, what did it really add to anything? Like, it didn't excite me more for Hell in a Cell.
Right.
Yes, it did give a pop to the crowd. The people in the crowd got to see a legend they love.
You didn't like the vignette?
I just didn't care.
Okay.
It's like
fair enough.
And maybe it's because Hell in a Cell is what got me into wrestling, so I have consumed everything related to Hell in a Cell.
Fair enough.
But if I wanted to watch a documentary on Hell in a Cell, they're readily available on the WWE Network.
Yeah, there are.
I don't know if same for and I hate to be a dick, but like the Connor's Cure thing. Like, I enjoyed it. Connor's Cure, everything they're doing is great.
I don't disagree with you.
But did it really fit in the show?
Yeah.
Like, it really just felt like a time filler. Like, it felt like they were wasting time because they didn't know what else to build up right now at that point.
This is what seems to be happening, Ryan. You're right. It's a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
And it's starting to show very large cracks in the foundation, in my opinion.
They even showed multiple SmackDown vignettes this week.
Yeah, they did. They really pushed the Joe and AJ Styles thing, and of course Charlotte and Becky. So that they're using that to fill the time.
Yeah.
They don't have enough.
No.
They need to cut it to 2, man. There's no logical
Well, they never
reason.
will. They won't.
I know it's frustrating.
But they do.
They
should.
need to cut it to 2. It's just too frustrating because you have better stuff going on in a 2-hour show than a 3-hour show. And you're right. The connoisseur. Listen, I don't buy that for a minute. And I love charity, and I think connoisseur is a very important charity to have. But I also read that book that announcer who used to work for them wrote, and how he's the one who pushed it. Justin Roberts. He pushed it. He created it. He found it. Stephanie and Triple H could care less. It was only when it caught on that all of a sudden they took it over, and that happens in every business.
Yeah.
There are people above you who don't care about something. You find it. They see it gets over with the fans or the people who patronize the business, and then they take it over because they see it as a money-making opportunity. Now, whatever their hearts play, yeah, they have kids, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter to me. I think it rings inauthentic a lot, and especially the way they treated Justin Roberts afterward, considering what he did to make that thing happen. So
yeah, no, I agree
none
with you.
of it feels right to me. Just like the Warrior thing. I don't like that. I'm a little weird on that Warrior thing too.
Oh, big time. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it felt too much like a pat on the back. Like, we get it, guys. We get it.
Yeah, you're nice people.
You're
we get
nice
it.
people. We get it. You know, like, and look, I'm not. Like I said, I don't want to be a dick. I think what they did is very good for those people.
Sure.
I think what they did is very good for just humanity. Like,
Yeah.
I just think that when you put it on the TV show, it was a very self-serving thing. You know, like, you could have easily put that on YouTube and it would have served its purpose, but you just wanted everyone to know how great you were.
Right.
And so I did roll my eyes a little bit at it, but at the same time, I'm happy that a good thing happened for those people. I mean, like,
it's confusing because it's like the NFL, and I know we have to wrap up here in a few minutes. It's like the NFL with this breast cancer awareness stuff, and then you're okay with men beating women in your league.
Yep.
Domestic violence stuff. You don't punish at the level that you should. You see videos and then you make a reaction.
Yes.
This is ridiculous.
Yep.
What is the truth here? Where's your actual heart at?
Yep.
Overall. So yeah.
Yeah, it was their disconnect. That disconnect we were referring to.
Great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been saying it all. It's true. All right, Finn Balor took on Elias. Speaking of wrestling, Elias finally got in the ring and wrestled Balor, and Balor ended up taking this thing. It was a little bit of a boring match, I thought.
I fast-forwarded.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing with Finn.
I didn't care. I fast-forwarded.
Finn, I'm sorry, brother. I don't know where you go from here.
They need to pair him back up with the club ASAP, man.
ASAP. He even,
put them all together on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Put them all together. Put AJ, the club, and Finn all together on SmackDown.
Yes.
Let them be a thing.
Yeah.
Let them turn heel. Let them be the top heel faction. Okay, just let them do something. Let them be the top face faction. Anything. Put them all together and make Finn cool again. Finn is not cool right now.
I'm going to get that hat. Make cool great again.
Make Finn
great
cool
again.
Make Finn great again.
That'd be perfect. Well, something that was great, at least I thought so. We'll see what Ryan thinks. Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman had this battle to end Raw. Strowman's vignette when he was walking through, or Roman was walking through the backstage looking for Reigns, screaming for Reigns, and then attacking those day players that they hired to play those roles. Was really sad. I didn't buy it at all. Why is that guy attacking little dudes? Like, it just makes no sense.
It was just one of those things where they tried to solidify his heel turn, where he beat up the little Asian man in the backstage, you know, like. But I loved when he did it though. I'm not gonna lie, it made me laugh a lot because it was so funny when he was like, "Get out of my eyesight," and then the guy was like, "What's his eyesight?" Like, you could see it in his eyes. So he just like stood there frozen in fear, and Braun was like, "No," and like threw
That's
him.
right.
That made me laugh because it was such like bully Braun that it cracked me up.
Yeah.
So I did actually like the backstage. They made me laugh because it was so funny. Like when they were interviewing Elias too, or when they were filming Elias, and then all of a sudden you just heard like Braun running through the hall like Roman. Like it was just such a comical thing that it made me laugh.
Agreed.
But the final thing, like, it was cool.
Okay.
But the Roman putting Braun through the stage or whatever.
Yeah.
It was cool. But I just was like, did this really like get people excited to watch Hell in a Cell more?
No. It's already done.
Yeah.
They're just like doing what they need to do until they get to the pay-per-view.
Yeah, they really are. How far away is it? It's soon. Is it
Yeah,
like
it's
next
a couple
weekend?
weeks. Yeah. This is the danger, Ryan, I think is happening, is these pay-per-views are starting to become so important because they have them every month that these shows don't get to stand out on their own. They're in service of the pay-per-view, and they're becoming just glorified 2-hour, 3-hour commercials for the pay-per-view, and that's frustrating because once the matches are set, everything else is just to play around until you get to the actual match, and that's starting to scare me on Raw a lot.
It's also gets troublesome when they're promoting 3 events at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you're like, wait, which one are we building towards right now? Which one's
the
next?
Evolution,
Which
Hell
one's
in a
important?
Cell, the Greatest Showdown.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's my problem right now.
Yeah.
Is right now they're building 3 separate pay-per-views via Raw. They're building that Showdown with Triple H and Undertaker. They're building Evolution with, like, you know, the Bella Twins with all the women stuff going on. And then they're using the Shield to build up Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And it really gets overloaded. It becomes like too much at a certain point. It's like just build up to one pay-per-view. Like just make this one show.
Focus on the one show.
Be the culmination of these storylines I've been watching. Like, it's a very... We as wrestling fans are conditioned to a certain formula. And when you try and deviate too far out of it, it's like, whoa, overload, bro. Like, we're ready for Hell in a Cell, not Evolution and Super Showdown. When are even those pay-per-views?
Right,
you
exactly.
know, like, you're like, oh, what's happening? You know, so like, I'm more wrestling. I can only retain so much information, you know? So, I think that is the main disconnect that we were referring to. You know, it's like, what are we building towards? Are we building these people up? What's and that was my main problem with the show. And as much as it was fun to watch Braun get thrown through the stage. Yeah. But to me, it was like, it was just kind of like a stunt thing. It was like what purpose did this serve? Like, it didn't really build up. Yeah, it was cool to watch. It was fun. Yeah. But I just didn't understand, like, long run, what it really accomplished.
That's fair. That's a fair point. And to correct ourselves, the pay-per-view is this Sunday. Hell in a Cell.
Wait, Hell in a Cell is this Sunday?
It's this Sunday. Yeah.
I have Bola and Hell in a Cell this weekend. It's going to be busy.
What do you got this weekend?
The Battle of Los Angeles. PWG.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend.
All right, I guess what, and we're going to cover it, I hope, in a recap.
We'll probably won't do a recap because the video doesn't come out for so long.
No, the Hell in a Cell.
Oh, Hell in a Cell, yeah.
Yes. So that's this weekend. So
we'll probably do a recap Monday if we should actually talk to Wendy about that when we get out of here.
Schedule that kind of thing. Yeah, you know it is. Yeah, September 16th, this Sunday. That's when it's happening. All right. Well, so for as a build up to this, it took care of its business, but overall, it wasn't that. It was a bit of a C show.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Like it took care of business, but not in an exciting way.
Yeah, agreed. We'll see how SmackDown does tomorrow night. Yes, exactly. There's some great hype up, and I'm looking forward to this Hell in a Cell. I think he's a good lineup of matches.
I think so too. Yeah, I am too.
So, all right, thanks everybody for watching the Collider Body Slam Raw recap. As you know, I am John Rocha. You can follow me at the Rocha Says. Ryan Satin, tell them everything they need to know, my friend.
I'm gonna go fast. We gotta get the hell out of here. But I'm at Ryan Satin on social media. ProWrestlingSheet.com is the website. At Wrestling Sheet on all social media for that. You can check out our YouTube channel. If you're listening to the audio of this on the Wrestling Sheet radio feed, our YouTube channel is youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. This show is available on video. Same for the other recaps that we do. Same for other news hits and all sorts of things, lists, all fun things that you find on YouTube. youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. If you're watching on YouTube, go check out the audio feed. There's other shows there as well. There is Top 5 with James McKenna and Kevin Silva. There's Best of the Rest with Aaron Turner and Rachel Evans, where they discuss everything going on that isn't on the main roster. Yeah. The first episode went up this weekend. People are really, really enjoying it, so I can't recommend it enough. I enjoy the hell out of it. I was laughing throughout the episode and agreeing with many of their points. Not all of them, but many of them. But really, I cannot stress enough to go check out the audio feed. There's an interview I did there with Lanny Poffo about All In. I'm trying my best to fill out all these different feeds that we have, so please go follow them. It helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything Ryan said. Aaron has been awesome, and I'm glad he finally has a show. Finally show debut. That's been so much fun. Aaron and I go back and forth on text and on Twitter now, apparently, a lot. So he's got a lot to say about a lot of things. So he'll tell me when he disagrees with me. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching Collider Body Slam recap. We will be back tomorrow with a Collider Body Slam Smackdown live recap and break down everything down there as we go into Hell in a Cell on Sunday. All right, take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk to you next time.
ProWrestlingSheet.com